Have you studied much about the anatomy of a horse? Okay, so the ribs, where do you think they start, her ribs? Go forward. There. Yes. So basically your girth is the halfway point of the rib cage, not the front of the rib cage. Mind-blowing, right? So that's why it's very important that my outer leg doesn't kick the horse accidentally. So the ribs do this and they connect, but at the top of that there are these prongs that stick up called the facets. And those need to open, and do you know the word undulate? Undulate means roll up and down, kind of this feeling. The wave is the word I used. That's undulation. A wave is undulation. Her back should do that in the canter. Her back doesn't do that in the canter. And we want to create that motion for her. And the only way she can do that is if her shoulders free up and her neck frees up and her back starts moving to meet those things, okay? That doesn't happen in 2 seconds. That is we can change a horse's muscle tone in 3 weeks, and because their muscle building pattern is so fast compared to humans. What would take me 9 months, she could do in three weeks. So we can change dramatically the feeling she gives you under the saddle. We go forward here when you feel like you can't steer her, go forward. Don't try to steer. Spurs are not for sending a horse forward. Did you know that? Spurs are not for sending a horse forward. Your leg is for sending the horse forward. Spurs are for lateral suppleness. So if we had trouble bending her, putting a spur on her would be very helpful. We'd get that belly to roll out of the way. But putting the spur on to make a horse go forward is a misnomer, and there's actually really good research to support that. Actually, what we end up doing is creating tension, and the horse can often actually push against that and hold their breath. And what we know about the horse is they don't learn when they hold their breath. So we're not really teaching the horse anything. So if you want her to go forward, bop, bop, bop with the leg and go. Don't get me wrong, I ride in a spur because I do dressage and I need lateral suppleness. More importantly, I ride at the FEI level, and it is a requirement at the FEI level to wear a spur. So therefore I wear one, but my spur rarely ever touches the horse. As a matter of fact, rarely do I have to clean the metal part of the spur because I'm at the horse's body. And I wipe my boots every day, so I know, because that way I know, was I rolling my heel inward, was I rolling my toe up and down, or whatever. Good. A little quicker. Yeah, thank you. I love that. Good job. She's not letting Mama ride over a wave when she's back there. Super. Your eye up. You have a beautiful, elegant upper body. I want to keep with that. Stay organized in your rein. Is it in front of my leg? Why is her head down? Check the length of your rein. Yeah, how could she come up with my reins that long if I'm training her to follow the bit? Do you know what I'm saying? It's a sign of obedience that she's dropping her neck into those long reins, because she's going, I'm here for you, Mom. I'm right down here at the end of the very long rein that you're riding in. Now she wants to slow down because Mommy's gathering the reins, right? So Mommy's going to gather the rein and go forward. hopefully my note sheet will help you. Also, your mom is videoing a lot, so you should hear a lot of this again. Basically, keep the rein lane. Well, let me quote a young lady called, her name is Charlotte Dujardin, who is a very famous British rider, dressage rider. She has successfully won gold medals 3 times at the Olympics, okay? All right, so she knows what she's talking about. Olympics are won with short reins. That doesn't mean we force the short rein. We have to create that privilege to shorten the rein, so the horse needs to go forward and pick up her body. Yeah, go forward, kick her shoulder with your toes. Well, did that change the feel in your hand? It did not? You didn't feel like she got a little lighter? Okay, kick her shoulder again, let's see. Bend your elbow. There you go, and swing your hip, good. And your inside bend comes how? Inside leg pushes her barrel out. Outer leg should be back or forward? Back. It wasn't, but you fixed it. You did brilliant work right there. Good. If she leans down on your hands, give her a little of her shoulders. And then make that canter left lead happen the next time you feel her bend in front of you. Good girl. Good girl. Commit to the bend with your seat. That gets rid of the head tilt. Yes! Good girl, kick, kick. Good girl, kick. Good job. And can't. Okay. Yes, you did. I was just getting ready to say that. I love it. How fun. Outer thigh back. Your inside seat needs to be able to get in front of you and canter up. I like the light. I want you to be light, but I want you light in the front of your hip, not the back of your hip. Front of your hip up and out in front of you. Yep, without your leg going back and forth. Good girl. That's a different set of muscles in your belly. Do you feel that? Excuse me, but I cannot work under these conditions, is what she just said, didn't she? That was hilarious. Yeah, now I'm pulling her back and forth. Yeah, good. Forward, come. Get off your front feet, Mare. Good job. And then I canter again. It's the front of your hip and thigh that goes up, not your butt that goes up. Because the goal is to sit in the saddle, but the goal is to sit in the saddle with her coming up to meet you. Not sitting in a place where she's just tight in the back and disappearing, right? Good, look up. Commit to this turn. Yeah, you felt that. You are so good. I love it. Good, hips up. In the front. Force the top of your thigh out towards your hands. Not the back of your butt, out towards her tail. There. Oh. Oh. And guess what? That's what I was getting ready to say. She's bringing her saddle to you. I love it. Inside kick. Outer leg out and back a little. Thank you. And forward the rising trot. Eyes up. Eyes up. So now this is a progress in work, okay? This is not how I want to present in a horse show, but did you feel the 6 times her back came up to meet you? Then you were technically sitting in the saddle, and then she disappeared. And then she came back, and then she disappeared. Instead of you going down to that low, tight place, you said, excuse me, I'm coming up here where we're supposed to be, and you better get it together, sister. And she said, got it, okay? And then she went, and now I'm tired. And now I've got it. And now I'm tired. And now I've got it. First time around, she said, I cannot do this. I'm gonna have to try. You know? Very polite, but still a little drama llama there. You know? So what I loved is how she answered yes to you, and that is really important. And it's thrilling to me to see a young rider willing to experiment with these things and actually play into a healthier place for her horse. That's very exciting for me, because what we want to do is develop from her croup, her back end. Instead of her back being down here, we want her back doing this. Her back doesn't do that. It just goes, everything goes downhill, right? And that going downhill, God kind of created her that way. She's a little low in the wither, high in the croup. So these are the horses we have to be a bit more out of the box to create, okay? And we create that uplifting feeling, not by riding that thing down in the front. We do it by picking everything up and saying, hey, lift your elbows, lift your shoulders, lift your neck, swing into it. This is the kind of horse I would ride above the bit before I would ride too low, because she's built down. So she needs to learn how to use the muscles in the top of her back. Does that make sense?
She loves to stretch down.
Well, I'm sure she's built to stretch down. She's built like this. Like this is her butt. This is her whole front end. So we have to teach all of that to come up off the ground. And there's skill involved in that, and I sat and I watched you do it in the trot and the camp. But you have to think about that balance for her, because she's not going to naturally do it. She's a workhorse. She's willing to do the work. But if someone just keeps riding her head down, she's going to keep riding down, and then you're going to have front end problems. You're going to do something weird in the hock or suspensory, because the back end can never get up underneath her and be supported. Her back isn't carrying her body. All of her weight comes onto her joints. And I say this with full confidence because I have 24-year-olds that are sound and don't get injected. So these are all things where we're going to use the horse's anatomy to carry the horse, and they can be sound for lots of years. When we let their body drive into their body, then we're wearing out things. You know, the difference would be, I'll use my husband as a great example. So he's a very tall man. He's 6'4". He's a very well-built man. You know, he looks like a linebacker. If he walked all the time on his body like this, what's he doing to his joints? But if he walks like this and carries himself and lets his muscles carry his body, then, he's 65 years old, he has good knees. He has parents that from a genetics perspective, they had every joint in their body replaced by the time they were 55. His other two brothers have had every joint in their body replaced. So, there is something about biomechanics that really is true. And this is a good athletic mare, and I'm excited to see that work happen. Got it? Good. Mom's got lots of video.